what has Agatha been up to all along? Who's going to be playing the next Green Lantern? And will Ahsoka ever get a second season? Find out this week as you travel with us through the Infinite Taylorverse. Warning.
Red alert.
Ay, 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 ay!
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
That's the emergency alert.
This episode is full of spoilers for some of the latest and greatest nerdy movies and shows.
Spoilers.
Listener discretion is advised. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Infinite Taylorverse podcast. I'm Billy Taylor.
I'm Taylor Oxner.
And this week we are back to our regularly scheduled programming to talk to you guys about all the awesome things going on out there in the amazingly fun pop culture universe. But before we jump into that, Taylor, what have you been nerding out about this week, man?
This week, I have been nerding out about the movie Gangs of New York. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, it's been a little while, but
yeah. I know it's like way, way late. But I saw it for the first time this week. It's like, I don't know, probably long-time listeners know that like I tend to watch like 3 to 4 movies a week, just because I'm up late and whatnot. But yeah. Watched that for the first time. A lot more violent than I thought it was going to be. Like, I wasn't expecting the amount of gore it had in it. But, I mean, it makes sense for the time period.
Yeah. I remember that one. I haven't seen it since it was new, but I do remember watching that one. It's with Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
Yeah, and Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yep.
And he's, like, amazing in it, even though he's, like, a crazy, like, bad guy.
Yeah.
I liked him in There Will Be Blood, too. Like that movie where he's a bad guy, I'll drink your milkshake. I love that whole, like, thing.
Yeah. Man, this week, I'm nerding out about, I have a student at school who does Irish dancing, and this past weekend at Kansas City was the big Kansas City Irish Fest, and they've been doing this for decades. It's just a big festival where they have food and drinks and music and vendors and activities and all kinds of stuff. And it's about $35 a person to attend. And my student, who does all this Irish dancing stuff in her free time, asked me, hey, would you like to go to this? My mom works at it, and we are allowed, X amount of free passes. And she said, if I have any friends at school or teachers that might want to go, let them know. And I said, you know what? That sounds really fun. So talked to my wife, and she said, yeah, let's do it. So our whole family went, and it was a lot of fun.
Right on. Did you eat any weird food?
I ate some meat pies, like
yeah.
Imagine, an old school shepherd's pie, but authentically Irish. It was pretty good, actually. And
I bet it was.
There was a woman who played the bagpipes, but she played modern songs on the bagpipes, and it was really freaking cool.
That's neat.
And I can't think of her tag at the moment. She has a TikTok, and she told everyone, and I instantly went and added her because she was really good. But yeah, that's something we got to watch. And there was a scavenger hunt the kids got to do, and there was bingo. There was all kinds of stuff that was really fun. And yeah, anyone out there, if you're in the Kansas City area, go next year. It was a lot of fun.
Well, cool.
But hey, let's jump into the news. So this week, over with Marvel, I did not realize how close we are to Agatha All Along. We're about less than 2 weeks away from that happening.
Yeah, so we were talking about this yesterday because we were going to record yesterday and just things didn't work out. But I swore up and down, left and right, that Captain America was supposed to come out first. And then going back, it looks like it was.
Yeah.
So at some point or another, that was supposed to come out before the other one. And I had a friend at work like, hey, what's the next Marvel thing come out? And I was like, oh, yeah, it's Captain America. I'm sorry, I lied. It's not Captain America. It's Agatha. And the new trailer, are we going to talk about it?
We totally can talk about it.
Okay, so that new trailer looks so good.
Yes.
1, and 2, so much Wiccan in it.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was not going to be that big of a part in it, but it looks like I'm completely wrong.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed, who is a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Spooky, underworld-ish type character that's been rumored for years and we have not seen yet.
Mephisto.
Exactly. And did you notice when the kid was trying to say something to Agatha, a scripty M covered his mouth and he couldn't talk?
I did see that, but I thought maybe that was an inverse W.
Yeah, because they're witches, or for Wiccan, or...
Yeah. But now that you say that, I'm kind of like, duh.
Yeah, what if he's trying to halt something from happening or somehow be involved, and we're finally going to see him, and no one's talking about it right now?
Yeah, that is kind of crazy. And wasn't there a rumor like Sacha Baron Cohen was rumored to actually be Mephisto or something?
And that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I like that. Him as Mephisto. That idea is really cool.
Yeah, he'd be very nice.
It'd be very nice, my wife.
Let's see, the next thing on the list here, this is a big rumor, but there's a rumor floating around that Bryan Cranston is in the running to be the MCU's Professor Charles Xavier. What do you think about that?
Okay.
You know, the guy's a great actor.
He is a great actor and everything. He's a little bit, I can't believe I'm saying this, he's a little bit more bulky than I'd like my Professor Xavier to be. Is that weird?
That's not weird because I couldn't put words to it, but that's how I felt too. But
you know who I would pick?
Who would you pick?
Like my dream cast for Professor Xavier, because he's already basically done it before. You've seen the show Alphas before, right?
Yes.
Okay. The guy's name's David Strathairn.
Okay.
That guy, the main alpha, the good one, him.
Oh yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about.
He's like probably in his like mid to late 50s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That guy. He's also the oh my god, he's Jason Bourne guy.
Yes. That's so I never put that guy in my mind, but now I totally see it.
Like he is since Patrick Stewart's not doing it and James McAvoy's not doing it, that's my pick.
Okay. I honestly hadn't picked a pick for this, but the guy you just said, I totally see it. I wonder if he'd be willing to go bald for it.
Yeah, it's either him, put him in that character, or Magneto.
Yeah. Oh, grow his hair long and look like... Yeah.
Or have Cranston play Magneto and the other guy play Xavier.
Yeah, I could see that working. Man, I want to see your movie.
Right? That guy's not doing anything where he's making that kind of money right now. Yeah. Let's give that guy a check. We already know he can play a really good Xavier.
Yeah.
Like, he's basically done it. The show was amazing. Like, let him have it. Or at least let him take a bat to it, you know?
Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah.
Nope, I can totally see that. Let's see, the next big rumor is that when the Vision series comes out, we're going to be seeing some West Coast Avengers characters in it.
Yeah, I did see the rumor that like the West Coast Avengers is basically set up to find Tony Stark parts that aren't used for good. And that's like what they're set up to do.
Yeah. I just wonder who we might see if that's true.
Well, if you do the original West Coast Avengers, what is it? Hawkeye, Hank Pym, not as Giant Man or Ant-Man or anything, just Hank Pym.
Yep.
There's also Iron Man, but it's the silver and red one.
Yep.
Mockingbird.
Yep.
Wonder Man and Moon Knight.
Okay. And we have most of those characters already.
Yeah. I think there's another one too I'm missing in my head, but that sounds like it's right. I feel like I'm missing like an Asgardian or an Olympian or something, but in my head I can't think right now who it could be.
Yeah. The other thing that we've heard, and this one, it didn't really say rumor, it just says reportedly, that when Spider-Man 4 comes out, it is going to be another multiversal movie. And that makes sense if that's true, because the amazing reviews they got with Toby and Andrew being in the last one, I can see them doing something again, especially with, no one really knows Peter anymore, so they might bring in a few characters that know Peter.
Yeah, maybe it's to bring in Miles and them before Secret Wars.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be even cooler. And what if it's straight up the same miles from all the animated stuff that we've got? And maybe that's what the big delay is. They're delaying things to rewrite it to make that work.
Yeah, possibly.
That would be awesome.
I just always thought they delayed it because Tom Holland's schedule's like crazy now.
Yeah, could be.
And Zendaya.
Right. And then let's see, the last thing about Marvel this week. Did you get a chance to see that set photo of The Thing that was released a few days ago?
I didn't.
So there's a practical image taking place on the set, and the character The Thing looks fully practical. Now, that doesn't mean there's not going to be CGI, and in fact, it would not make sense to not have CGI. But the mask that they pulled over the guy's head playing The Thing looked like the comic The Thing. You know, we've had the version from the early 2000s, which was great, and then we had the version, you know, the fan force stick that we do not speak of. And then this version, if the CGI looks anything like the practical version they showed on this picture, he looks just like the comic version.
I see it right now.
It's crazy.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I, for one, am excited.
Wild.
I'm sure that's just I'm sure that's just a stand-in until we get some CGI, but it looks awesome.
He's huge.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now. He's ginormous.
Yeah, I know.
There's like 3 people like trying to reach his neck. Wow. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Well, over with DC, the first thing I have on the list here is there's a bit of things floating around that reportedly Josh Brolin has been offered the part of Hal Jordan in the new Lantern series. What do you think about that?
That pretty much means he's not going to be Cable.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, but
They must be going for a slightly, you know, wiser, aged version of Hal Jordan.
Yeah, I think he's too old.
They're going with all these younger versions, so that kind of surprised me when we saw that pop up. And again, this could just be a rumor, but that's the thing floating around right now. There was another thing out there. The actor Vincent D'Onofrio, who we know plays the Kingpin in Marvel, he was interviewed, and in the interview someone said, who would you love to play in the DC universe? One of the things he said was, well, one thing about me is I love comic books. I really love DC Comics. And then he goes on to say, of course I love Marvel. I'm part of Marvel. But he's like, I love DC. And his all-time favorite character was Swamp Thing, and he would love to be Swamp Thing. And then I started thinking about Vincent D'Onofrio as Swamp Thing would be pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
I could see him doing it.
I could too. I mean, you wouldn't know it was him.
That's true. Just his voice, really.
Well, even his voice, you'd want to make it mucky sounding and change it. You remember the old Swamp Thing TV show?
Yes.
Where it's like, whoa, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd even be able to tell it's him.
Yeah. The Superman and Lois Season 4 premiere has been bumped up. This was good news. So it was going to premiere on October 17th, but due to some scheduling with other shows on competing networks, they've moved it to October 7th instead, 10 days sooner, so that it doesn't compete with a few other premieres. And I'm happy about that. This is my favorite CW show, and I'm sad that it's going to be ending, and happy that I'm going to be seeing it 10 days sooner.
Do you like it better than The Flash as a whole?
You know what? The Flash was my absolute favorite one until this one came out, and then it instantly dethroned it for me. And don't get me wrong, I still love The Flash. It was amazing, but I like this one a little bit better. It's a little bit more gritty, maybe the wrong word, but it's just a little bit more rooted in realism, which is hard to say because you got dudes flying around and monsters and stuff, but I don't know. I like this one better.
Okay.
I'm sad it's ending because I really like this version of Superman. It's cool seeing him as a dad and a husband, and it's more about that. But then, of course, he's Superman, so that's a big part of him navigating those things as the guy who's Superman. So
yeah,
it's a cool take, and I'm glad we got a chance to see it, and I'm bummed it's leaving. But I read something, a guy has already seen all 10 episodes, and he said he cried at about 9 different episodes. He brought him to tears. So I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to see it.
Oh man. It'll be your This Is Us.
Right. Exactly. I mean, This Is Us was a pretty good This Is Us too, though.
I still haven't watched it.
Oh, man.
I know I'd like it, but it's one of
so
those things where it's like every time I'd walk in the house or anything, and Lauren would be watching it, she'd just be like wrecked. And I was just like, I can't just sit down knowing I'm just gonna be wrecked.
Yeah, no need to self-inflict that on yourself.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's just one of those things. It's like, it might be fun to watch at some point or another.
Let's see, the next thing on the list here, for fans of Batman the Caped Crusader, Season 2 has already begun production. So I know it wasn't your favorite, but it's being worked on for Season 2. Have you watched any more of it yet or not yet?
I didn't.
And that's okay. I think once you get to the Harley Quinn episode and beyond, you might actually like it a bit more. But I liked it, and I'm glad they're working on Season 2, especially with that cliffhanger we got at the very end.
Has there been, since Young Justice, a DC Universe show?
I don't think so. Not an animated one, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
I can't recall one. Ooh, I really liked Young Justice. I was sad when that one quit, too.
Yeah, didn't they do, like, the final season on Max?
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's good.
But, yeah.
And let's see. The Joker, Folie Deux, number 2, the one that you're so excited to watch, the musical. One of the creators of this movie was interviewed and said, if you thought the first one was dark, you haven't seen anything yet. This one is way darker.
Cool.
Yeah. And we're about a month away from that coming out. So those of you wanting to see it, we're getting close.
I want to talk about it, and maybe I'm talking crap, but I'm okay with that right now. I don't know anyone who wants to see this movie.
I haven't heard anyone talking about it either.
Which kind of makes me like, oh no, is it going to taint the first one? But even that's kind of lost its charm over time with me. I still think it's a good movie, but I don't think it's as good of a movie as I thought it was the first time I saw it.
Yeah, but we will know in about a month.
Yeah.
Over with Star Wars, I saw an article that said The Mandalorian and Grogu, the movie that we're going to be getting, pretty soon, is actually not going to be the culminating Dave Filoni movie that brings everything from the Mandoverse together. It's just a movie about Mandalorian and Grogu, and we're still going to, afterward, get this culminating Dave Filoni universe movie. So, hey, we're getting at least 2 more movies in this universe, and that's pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the movie that brings it all together, but apparently it's not.
Yeah, they got to bring some of it together, right?
Yeah, it's probably going to be more like just imagine another season. You're just watching it on the big screen.
Mm.
And speaking of that, Ahsoka Season 2 is not going to begin filming until this coming summer. So we're probably not going to see that until 2026.
Boo.
I know. That was so good.
I want to know more about the zombies.
Yeah. And out of all these shows, we just got wind that The Acolyte Season 2 has officially been canceled, which is a big bummer. It introduced some characters we've never seen on screen before and some concepts we've never seen on screen before, and it just got a lot of hate, and I hate that about Star Wars stuff. We've said this a million times. The worst thing about Star Wars is the Star Wars fans. And I use fans with quotes around it. But yeah, that's a bummer. It left on such a cliffhanger. I wanted to know a little bit more.
Yeah, I hope they wrap it up in something else.
Yeah. The actor that played the main Sith, I cannot think of his name right now. He was in an interview a couple days ago, and he is super bummed about it. And someone asked him, what are your life goals? And he's like, Acolyte Season 2. It has to happen before I die.
Jeez.
I thought that was kind of funny.
I wonder if they're going to wrap it up inside a comic or something like that.
I hope they at least do that, but I would love to see it on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of comics, we're getting a new 12-issue series that comes out October 2nd. First issue of it does. It's called Star Wars Battle of Jakku, and it's going to be a series that fills in the gaps between the original, Luke Skywalker saga movies and the sequel movies with Rey and Finn and all those guys. So we're going to get a 12-issue comic miniseries that fills in those years. And that's going to be cool, I think.
That will be cool.
Let's see, elsewhere out there in the pop culture universe, Disney just released a trailer for the new live-action Snow White, and it comes out March 2025. There was already a bit of a teaser, but now we have a trailer. And, it looks, depending on how you feel about these things, it looks just as good or bad as the rest of the live-action Disney remakes. So I know I'll watch it. My kids are going to want to watch it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's always funny to me when these movies with characters who the whole point of that character is they're freaked out about some younger, prettier version of a person coming out. And they picked Gal Gadot. They picked Wonder Woman to be the evil queen. Why would she, in any universe, look in a mirror and think someone is more beautiful than her? You know what I'm saying?
Well, she was the fairest one in the land before Snow White.
It's true.
So she probably is supposed to be good looking.
Someone made a meme of all the different Snow Whites in the past, couple decades, and then all the different evil queens. And each evil queen is played by this, stereotypically beautiful woman from Hollywood. And it was just kind of making fun of the trope. I'll have to find the meme and send it to you.
Oh, jeez.
Well, hey, we've talked in the past a little bit about a Toxic Avenger movie starring Peter Dinklage, but he was just in an interview and said he's losing confidence that the movie's ever going to be released. So it's already been filmed and made and everything, but he's not sure if it's going to be released. And I don't know what to think about that. I want to see it. Did you ever watch the animated Toxic Avengers back when you were a kid?
Yeah. Toxic Crusaders.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
The Toxic Avenger was the very not PG movie that came out. Did you watch that one too?
Yeah.
It was awful, but I loved it. And then, the Toxic Crusaders. I remember that show. I had a lot of the toys. Let's see. Robert Kirkman. Someone asked him recently, when are we going to get this live-action Invincible movie? And he said, there's not been a lot of talk lately. It hasn't exactly started filming or anything, but do not worry, it is still in development. We're going to get it at some point. So anyone that's been waiting on a live-action Invincible, it might be a while, but we're still going to get one.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, a new series premiered in the past week on Netflix. It's an anime series called Terminator Zero, and it's in the world of, the Terminator, but in anime style, and it's already got rave reviews. I have not seen the show yet, but I watched a trailer of it.
Oh, yeah. It popped up on my Netflix recommended. It looked pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks really good. And I'm not one to always fall in line with reviews, but I'm only seeing positive reviews for it, so I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then the last thing I've got here, this weekend, as you're listening to this, you could probably go see it tonight, but this weekend, Beetlejuice premieres September 6th, and I cannot wait to see that. The early reviews are already calling it a worthy successor to the original, and that's good to hear.
I had the Beetlejuice Fanta drink.
Nice. I saw some of those pictures of them online. I need to go find some.
It tastes like, in my opinion, like if they made apple cider and just soda.
Okay.
Yeah, Lauren put a little caramel in hers, and she's liked it even more.
Ooh, nice. Now I want to do exactly that. Locally, we met some guys last week. You guys heard the interview. There's this event coming up in Pleasant Valley, Missouri. It's called BadCon. It's going to be here on October 12th. Go find these guys on social media. Find their website. They got a few celebrities coming from The Walking Dead and Ms. Marvel and Wizards of Waverly Place, Power Rangers, all kinds of them. And they're all related somehow to something in the horror genre. So, of course, they're in these other things like Disney things and Power Rangers things, but they're all people that showed up somewhere in horror. So if you're a fan of horror, you might want to look these guys up. It looks like it's going to be a good time, and you never know, we might show up there.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
But hey, that's all the news this week. Come back next week, you guys. We'll have some more stuff to talk about and maybe a few surprises in store. But as for us here at the Taylorverse, I've been Billy Taylor.
And I'm Taylor Rockstar.
And come back next week, guys. Same Taylor time, same Taylor channel.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.